Hey, welcome back. So in this lesson, I'm going to take care of the FAQ and the contact section of our page. So the first one is the FAQ. I'm going to create a new section with div class page header as usual, section FAQ. And inside is going to be an h2 with a small tag. So this one is going to say frequently asked questions, and in here I'm going to say a little Q&A to get you started. Okay, cool. Now for the Q&A, I'm going to use the collapse element, and if you remember from the previous lessons, it uses a panel group, so that's what we're starting with. Div class panel group. I'm going to give it an ID of accordion Q&A. Now for each element I start with a panel and panel default, and inside I have a panel heading plus a panel collapse. The panel heading is going to have an h4 with a class of panel title, and inside we're going to put an anchor tag. So the anchor tag is going to go to, let's say, collapse 1, or actually Q&A 1. I'm going to set data toggle to collapse and data parent to accordion Q&A. And remember to put the hash sign. And for the text, I'm just going to put question 1. Okay, for the collapse div, this will hold the actual content. I'm going to give it an ID of Q&A 1. And inside I'm going to say panel body, and I'm going to put some lorem ipsum. Okay, now what I'm going to do is copy this panel and paste it 2 more times. Make sure I add the in class at the very first collapsible panel so that it will be displayed first, and then change the IDs on the other 2 elements. So this will be 2 and this will be 3. Let's check it out. Okay, question 1, question 2, question 3. Great. Now, moving on to the contact section, which is the final section in our code. For the contact, create a new section, as usual, with a page header, with an ID of section contact. And this one is going to say contact us, and let's get in touch. Okay, now I want to have 2 main elements in this area. One, an area with some contact information, and the other one with the actual contact form. So I'm going to use 2 columns, row, and then col lg4 plus a col lg8. On the col lg4, which will be on the left side, first I'm going to do a paragraph, which will say something like this. And then I'm going to put an address. So address. I'm just going to put the Envato address here, separated by line breaks, and also a phone number. And I'm going to use the abbreviation tag. Title is going to be phone. I'm going to put a P here, and then the phone number. And that's the end of the address. Let's check it out. Okay, when I hover on the P, my cursor changes, and I have that phone title. Okay, now on the right side, I'm going to use a form, more specifically, an horizontal form. So I'm going to do form class form horizontal. I didn't show you this in the theory part. Action role is going to be form, and I'm going to have a few fields like a name, email, website, and message. So I'm going to start with a form group in which I'm going to have a label for contact name, and also I'm going to give it a class of col lg2 and also control label. and I'll show you in a little bit what it does. So I'm going to say name here, and then I'm going to do a div with a class of col lg10, which will house my input. Type text, class will be form control, and ID is going to be contact name. Let's also do a placeholder. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so this is what we have currently. If I duplicate this form group for my email field, let's see, contact email is going to be here. This one is going to be email address, and type here is going to be email. Now if I refresh, notice how the labels and the inputs line up. This is how a horizontal form looks like. All right, let's do the same for the other input, the website, the other form field I meant. And I just noticed a small typo here. This is contact website. And what else? The input type will be URL. I'm going to duplicate this again and create the message. So it's going to be contact message, okay, col lg10, and instead of this input, actually, I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to create a text area. The name is going to be contact message. The ID will be the same. Make sure you add the class of form control, so this control is styled properly, and also add a placeholder of message. All right, let's check it out. So name, email address, website, and message. Okay, so far so good. At the very end, I'm going to add another div with a class of form group, and this will hold my submit button. So in here, I'm going to say class col lg10, and inside I'm going to have a button. Type will be submit. Class is going to be btn, and let's do a btn primary. Send message. All right, now refresh and notice my message is not positioned correctly. I need to align its left side with these inputs right here. So I'm going to add right here a col lg offset 2. So we're pushing it to the right by 2 columns, which is exactly the width I have on my labels. All right, and that's basically it for this contact area. Now, the last thing I need to do in this page is the footer. That's coming up in the next lesson.